Okay, let's continue with the reading section. This is the next type of questions that are asked in reading section. Here we have to complete each sentence with the correct ending. So you write the letter A to F, whatever it is, by reading your sentence and your paragraph. See, for example, you can go through the questions first before reading the passage. The first statement is, sentence is, Harness research method was different to that of other writers because. So you have to concentrate on these keywords. Harness research method, why it was different from other writers. And second is, Harness reconstruction of 16th century London scientific group was new because. So keywords are London scientific groups and Harness reconstruction. It was new because. Third, Harness shows that 16th century London scientists were innovative because. So again, 16th century London scientist, and Harness shows that they were innovative because. So keyword here is innovative. This is a medium level difficulty question because you have to read each sentence from A to F and then match the correct ending. So let's go through the passage. This is Science in 16th Century London, The Jewel House, a new book by historical researcher and author Deborah Harkness. Deborah Harkness devotes her elegant and erudite new book. There are some few difficult English words. Doesn't matter. Devotes her elegant and erudite means basically a lot of knowledge. And the book name is The Jewel House to the scientific community in 16th century London. She rightly argues that it is thanks to the imaginative collective efforts of the urban scientists that London became the melting pot in which a new mathematical and experimental culture crystallized. कि जो वहाँ के she thinks that जो अर्बन साइंटिस्ट थे लंदन के उनका कलेक्टिव एफर्ट था बिकॉज ऑफ विच वहाँ पे मैथमेटिकल एक्सपेरिमेंटल कल्चर एक जुड़ना और बनना शुरू हुआ. Harkness is known for her ingenuity as a researcher and her historical empathy, basically skillful and her historical love. In the Jewel House, Harkness turns her skill on the city of London as a whole with surprising and fascinating results. Okay, she began the research by asking herself a new question, not what caused the scientific resolution, but what the name science and scientist meant in 16th century London. Okay, then she collected a vast range of sources from printed books, scientific instruments, notebook recorded in a relational database. Information is not relevant to our questions. Every chapter of the Jewel House charts the activities of a particular community. Harkness leads us through the streets of London, showing us neighborhood by neighborhood where the major forms of natural knowledge found homes. Okay, कि कहाँ कहाँ पे वो लंदन के neighborhood में natural knowledge के घर हैं. For example, apothecaries settled in Lime Street, street in what is now the city, where they created a dense network of shops and gardens. Clockmakers, both native craftsmen and many from overseas, they clustered in several parishes, basically districts near St. Paul's Cathedral. The once wealthy merchant Clement Draper even managed to transform the King's Bench prison in Southwark, where he served time as a debtor into a center of research and discussion. By the end of the book, Harkness has mapped London's scientific communities with astonishing precision. So by the end of the book, Harkness ने पूरी लंदन की साइंटिफिक कम्युनिटी को एक तरीके से बता दिया कहाँ कहाँ पे ये चीज अवेलेबल है. Moreover, when Harkness reconstructs these groups, she provides not traditional static accounts of the theories, but dynamic analysis of their practices as these develop over time. In many cases, she makes clear the alchemist of Elizabethan London already understood that knowledge of nature had to rest not on authority but on familiarity through practice. In one crucial aspect, Harkness argues many of the 16th century London scientists differ from the later ones of the 17th century. They saw themselves less as individuals to gain fame than as a member of larger textual community. का यहाँ पे कुछ है, bent on exchanging and compiling information. The passages in which Harkness analyzes 16th century practices of note-taking and communication are most novel and informative in this fine book. She shows that they adopted the textual information processing methods of humanistic scholarship to radically new ends. Moving on to the questions. Harkness' such method were different to that of other writers because she has greatest knowledge, लेकिन नहीं mention है. She started by seeking to understand how basic terms were used in the past. ये हो सकता है. ये method was different to other writers because कि वो जो हमारा बी आंसर हो सकता है. She stated by seeking to understood how basic terms were used in the past. Like what the name science and scientist meant in the 16th century London. She collected a vast range of sources. तो यहाँ पे थोड़ा बहुत इंफॉर्मेशन है हमारा. To the first question, the Joule chart the activities of particular community. तो ये आंसर बी हो सकता है. That she started by seeking to understand how basic terms were used in the past, like science and scientists, not on the basis of, like it's mentioned, she began the research by asking herself a new question, not what cause and what the name. So basic से start होगी. So B should be the answer, I think. Harkness reconstruction of the 16th century London scientific group was new because कि जो उसने 19th century 16th century London के एक scientific group का reconstruction किया वो नया क्यों था? They worked as individuals rather than as a group. ये तो नहीं, उससे उल्टा बताया हुआ है. She examined how their methods evolved and changed. हो सकता है Lehman Draper was the best scientist of his time. No, they used old ways of analyzing written information for new purposes. तो D हो सकता है. She examined how their methods evolved and changed. न्यू क्यों था? तो यहाँ पे ये but the dynamic analysis of the practices as these developed over time. यहाँ पे इसका आंसर है. So it could be D. And last is Harkness shows that the 16th century London scientists were innovative because इसमें ये हो सकता है they use old ways of analyzing written information for new purposes. पुराने मेथड का यूज होकर नया पर्पस. जैसे she revised not traditional static accounts of their theories but dynamic analysis of the practice has developed over time. In many cases, she makes clear that the chemist of Elizabeth London already understood knowledge of nature had to rest not on authority but on familiarity through practice. Innovative इसमें आएगा थोड़ा आगे. Harkness analyzes the 16th century practices of note taking and communication are among the most novel and informative in this fine book. She shows that they adopted the textual information processing methods of humanist scholars to radically new ends. तो ये हमारा C वाला आंसर आएगा इसमें. So first should be B, second should be D, third should be F. Yeah. So like this, you have to understand the passage and complete these answers.